Hello, everyone, and welcome to Church at Home with Rachael for Friday, the 10th of March. Someone noted last week when my Friday video was about herding cats that a friend of ours, Wayne, turned me on to a commercial about, which was so funny. They mentioned Friday Funnies and how kind of cool it would be to start the weekend off on a funny note. And I am not a comedian, and sometimes I come up with funny stuff, and it's sort of by accident. But something happened at my AGM in Vermilion at St. Saviour's a couple weeks ago. And an older gentleman, I think he's going to be 90 in the spring. He's just a delight. His name's John. And he comes to church with his daughter, Lorena, and she's a delight as well. And we were talking about something. I think we were sort of talking about Indigenous ministries and things like that. And John sort of took us back a step and helped us to take a deep breath and think about things. And he was talking on a bigger scale. And he told us he lives in a place for older folks, and he's the first one up in the morning. He's like an early riser, and he said it's his job. I think he gave it to himself, but it's his job to check the bathrooms. Okay, it's like what? And he said to us, he said every morning he gets up, and the first thing he does is he goes and checks the bathrooms to make sure that none of his friends and neighbors have fallen during the night. It's his job to go and check the bathrooms. And that just, we were having a fairly intense conversation, and his insights and his naming his job is go check the bathrooms had us in stitches. Like I had this image of John opening up every bathroom and saying, "Hello, are you all okay in there?" And recognizing, like, what if he did find somebody who'd fallen? If he'd hurt himself if he tried to pick somebody up? But also then this idea of, like, what about the person who fell? If John, at 6 o'clock in the morning, pops his head into a bathroom and says, "Hello, anybody in here?" and there is a gentleman or a lady on the floor and who's been hurt, what a relief it would be to hear John's voice, even in the bathroom. Like, even if John can't help pick them up, John can go get help. And they can know that someone is going to take care of them. Someone is going to watch out for them. And I got thinking about that. That's just absolutely incredible. Because I've also been thinking about judgment and thinking about the number of times as Christians we do this whole gatekeeper routine where we are the ones who God has appointed to figure out who's going to go to heaven and who's not. I don't remember reading that in the Bible, and I'm not sure why the church started teaching that over the years, but I'm pretty sure Jesus is the gatekeeper. And for the most part, he doesn't spend much time inside the gate. He tends to leave the gate open and go looking for those who are lost. So this whole gatekeeper thing, I'm thinking, is kind of ridiculous. I think John's onto something. I think that we're called to check the bathrooms. I think that we're called in our lives not to worry so much about how do we, especially for Christians, how do we go about and share the good news of Jesus Christ? How do we tell people about our faith? How do we, make big, huge, actions to share with the world about our faith? And I think really Jesus and God are just saying, like, go check the bathrooms. Wherever you are, look around you and just check in on people. Make sure they're doing okay. A friend of ours on the channel is trying to quit smoking, and as I record this, I'm recording this a few days ahead of time. He's at day 15, I believe, that he's smoke free, and I'm praying that by the time this airs on Friday, that he will be at day 21 or whatever day it might be. And even if he's not, even if he's back to day 1, the idea is that he's trying, he's doing something for the sake of his own health and his mental health, for the sake of his family and his friends, something that he knows will be good for him. And sometimes that's our effort, to check the bathrooms. Sometimes we have to check our own bathroom, make sure we haven't fallen. And if we have, who do we call to help us get up? And then once we realize, okay, it's not us, we're good. I've checked my own bathroom, I'm safe and sound for the day. Where can I go to check on another person? It could be your neighbor that you haven't seen in a while. Over COVID, we found lots and lots of people who discovered that they didn't have anyone to check on them. Before COVID, people would go out, they do their banking, they do their groceries, they go to church or they go to work, and they thought they had a social life, not a social life, but a social life, a life that they had, connection with others, because they saw people every day. And then COVID hits, and everybody's in their house, and we begin to realize how big our social life is or how small it indeed it really is. And we had a lot of people for whom no one checked the bathroom. And that's really kind of sad. Now, I know we're not post-pandemic and, we're not post-World Health Scare. Things are still happening. People are still getting sick. I don't want to debate that right now. But I think one thing we've learned is we move into a endemic world, a world in which it's a thing. COVID is a thing we're going to have to deal with forever, and other things that will happen. But it's a world in which we now know it's not okay to not check the bathrooms. We need to reach out. We need to look around and realize that, first of all, check on yourself. Do you have someone who's checking on you? And if you don't, how can you find that person? Join a book club or go to the library. I've talked before about going to the library when I lived in Halifax every Friday on my days off. I'd go in the morning and I'd sit in the corner at the library and read my book, and drink my tea. And I realized that there was a whole bunch of older people that were there every week. And eventually they told me that it was okay for me to join them because they were there intentionally. They didn't really speak to each other. They were reading the newspaper. And every once in a while, somebody would lean over and point out this or say, you got to read this article. But for the most part, they didn't talk. And when they were done, they would get up and say, see you next time. You wouldn't even know if they knew one another by name. But they did. And this was their way of checking the bathroom. They get together once a week just to be in the same space. Not even really talk, just to be together. And if somebody wasn't there, somebody would go check the bathroom, make sure that they were doing okay. I think that's what we need to do. As a society, we need to sort of start being a little bit, check out our awareness, our situational awareness, as my husband would say in the military, our SA, situational awareness, and make sure that we have someone to check on us once in a while, and make sure that we have a few people that we check on as well. Just to give them a call or pop by or wave at them when we see them out cutting the grass. But something that they will know that if something happened to them, they wouldn't be left laying on the floor of their bathroom because they knew that somebody, John or you or whoever, was going to pop by and check the bathroom once in a while. So I know it's not a really funny story, but the whole idea about checking the bathroom, I thought it made me laugh. But it's also a really practical thing. Just remember to check the bathroom. Every day, check the bathroom for somebody in your life that you care for, somebody that maybe you don't care for, but God does. So you're called to look out for them anyway. You never know. That person that you don't care for, but for whom you're called to check the bathroom, may become somebody important to you in your life, and you to them. So as you go about your weekend, take time to check the bathrooms and make sure everybody's doing okay, and allow others to check your bathroom. Allow others to make sure you're doing okay as well. So to all of you who, like our friend who's trying to quit smoking, and to others out there who are going through difficult times and having to make a daily, an hourly, even a minute-by-minute decision to do the right thing, God bless you. And please know that we are checking the bathroom for you, that we're praying for you. And if you let us know, we will pray for you specifically. But just know that we are thinking about you. And for all those of you who are struggling, we're checking the bathroom for you, or I am anyway. God bless you. Have a great weekend. And I will see you again on Sunday for Gospel on the Go, or Monday for Church at Home with Rachael. Have a great one, everybody. Don't forget to check the bathroom.